Yeah, just grab your mic. Oh, sorry. Still dancing. Good evening. My name is Patrick Cassidy. Yes, I am that guy under the Franklin Theater marquee, dancing in the street. Welcome to Studio Tenn Talks, and I am the artistic director for Studio Tenn. I am so excited. We have such a great show, such a different show for us. It's the first show where I have two incredible, successful, talented Broadway singing performer, actor, actress. But guess what? They happen to be married. They happen to be married, Shirley Jones and Jack Cassidy. That's what I grew up with. And we're going to hear all about that. And as a little tribute to them tonight, but first, actually, before I even get to that, I want to thank our sponsor tonight, Rod and Kay Heller. Thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's show. It's so great. We are here at the beautiful Franklin Theater, as you saw on the marquee. And we have a huge audience of 5 tonight. 5. We have a huge audience of 5. But they're a great 5 and they're going to enjoy, and it's a pleasure to be here. But as I was saying, we are tributing love, we are tributing Broadway, we are tributing love, Broadway, and marriage tonight. And to help me do that tonight, I'm going to bring on first, he is my partner in crime. He is the Sundance Kid to my Butch. He is Rocky to my Bullwinkle. Please welcome our musical director extraordinaire, Mr. Patrick Thomas. There he is.
Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm good, pal. How are you?
Are
you
am
good?
Fantastic. You didn't get the note. It's Casual Monday.
It is casual
I got rid
Monday.
of the blazer for this show. I thought you were going to join me in plaid.
No, I actually, although you look really good, you look like you're actually matching the curtains, which I should have probably thought about.
That was the plan, was just to blend right into the curtain and disappear. Yeah.
How was your week?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was, just another week in the life of the COVID saga, but it's good. I got a job. That's something to be happy for. Little wedding planning. That was
yes,
exciting,
that's something that I want to talk about a little bit tonight with our guests, and is you're getting married, right? You are ready for that. We've talked about that before.
That's right.
What's the date of that?
May 23rd. So we're getting pretty close.
Well, you're going to get some advice tonight. You're going to get some advice, being the performer that you are, and how you work that. I've managed to work it with a performer as my spouse for the last 27 years, but it's a lot of opening nights. I got to tell you, it's a lot. But we're going to talk about that tonight. But first, we have a special guest tonight that is going to accompany Patrick. This is a little tribute to Jenny Powers and to Mr. Matt Cavenaugh, who are waiting to come on. It's about love. It's about marriage. And to help us with that is an incredibly fine actress here in Tennessee. She's worked for the Rep. She did Urinetown. I saw her as Lady Macbeth in Macbeth for the Shakespeare Festival. Please welcome to the screen, Miss Mariah Paris.
Hi, Mariah.
Hi.
We're just doing a little musical chairs, right?
Sounds good. Can I talk to you about something?
I mean, sure.
Can I say something crazy?
I love crazy.
All my life has been a series of doors in my face, and then suddenly I bump into you.
I was thinking the same thing, because I've been searching my whole life to find my own place. And maybe it's the party talking or the chocolate fondue.
But with you,
I found my place. and it's nothing like I've ever known before. Love is an open door. Love is an open door. Love is an open door.
With you,
With you, with you. Love is an open door.
I love singing with you, Patrick.
It's amazing. I mean, it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna
I've
say.
never met someone
Who thinks so much like me?
Jinx!
Jinx again! Our mental synchronization can't have but one explanation.
That
You,
and I
we're
just
meant to be.
say goodbye.
Say goodbye to the pain of the past. We don't have to feel it anymore. Love is an open door. Love is an open door. Life can be so much more
with you.
with you.
With you,
With
with
you.
you.
Love is an open door. Can I say something really crazy?
Sure.
Will you marry me?
Can I say something even crazier? Yes! Oh, that was so fun.
Patrick made us
Thank
do
you.
the kiss thing. That wasn't our
Yeah,
choice. That was
actually,
Patrick. We had to
Did
do
it work? We don't know. Thank
Thank
so
you,
much for
Mariah.
having me
Thank you for
on.
joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, was that not the cutest thing in the world? It was a socially distanced by, what was that, 12, 13 feet kiss.
Easily.
I thought that was fantastic. Patrick, nice job. Thank you, Mariah Paris. You are unbelievable. I can't wait for you to do a show for us. I can't wait for us to do a show. Patrick, we will see you in a little while, yes?
See you in a bit.
Thanks, pal. So, okay, tonight, like I said, we have the most special show you could ever imagine. Matt Cavenaugh, Jenny Powers and Matt Cavenaugh, I had the pleasure of working with the two of them in a show that my father originated on Broadway, was nominated for a Tony Award. It was called It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman. Matt played Superman, and I played the wannabe Superman. No, I played the villain, Max Menken, and Jenny played Sydney. She was, I mean, they were just so amazing. But I'm going to read just some of their bios to you, and then we're going to bring them both on. Jenny is best known for her performance as Rizzo in the 2007 revival of Grease. Her other credits include Little Women, Happiness, Dangerous Beauty, as well as encores, the production of It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, Oh, of Thee I Sing, and Follies. She was crowned, I didn't know this, you were crowned Miss Illinois in 2000? Yeah, of course. You were Miss Illinois. Wow. She is a triple impressed. She is a Drama Desk Award nominee for Donnybrook, and she appeared many shows at the Muny, which I have too, St. Louis Muny Theater. We're going to talk about that, including Mamma Mia, Mary Poppins, and Camelot. And I got to sing with that incredible voice at the 100-year anniversary at the Muny. Now, Matt Cavenaugh. Matt Cavenaugh, film debut as a child actor in Little Monsters, known for his performance of Tony in the 2009 revival of West Side Story. Would you hear that? Other credits include It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, A Catered Affair, Grey Gardens, and Urban Cowboy. Were you on a mechanical bull singing in that show? He is a Drama Desk Award nominee for the performance in Death Takes a Holiday. TV credits include As the World Turns and One Life to Live. Please welcome Jenny Powers and Matt Cavenaugh.
Hi, guys.
Yay!
Hi. Hey, Studio 10.
Look at you guys. Oh my God, you guys! It's like Ozzy and Harriet now. It's like family. It's like look at you guys. How are you?
We're great. We loved your dance in the beginning. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. That
It was a morning because we're at this incredible theater, the Franklin Theater, and blessed to be. And during the inauguration, Kenny Ortega, my friend, had did this sort of dance across America. He said, "Would you do something?" I said, "Sure." And so I knew we were coming into the Franklin Theater, and I wanted to utilize Franklin and the theater and stuff. So I danced in the street at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, you look fabulous.
Well, it's amazing what happens when
Did Melissa choreograph that for you? Your wife, Melissa.
No, those are the stock James Brown steps I've known since I was 20. That's it. You guys look fabulous. Okay, so let's first of all talk. Where are you? You're in your home.
We are. We are in our home. We are actually in our master bedroom. It's a little different than New York City here in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
That's what I was going to ask now. So you live now in Jonesboro, Arkansas, right?
We're neighbors. We're only 4 hours away, Patrick.
I know, and you never even call.
I don't send flowers anymore.
Well, you're.
Yeah.
So give me a little backstory and our viewers a little backstory, because I know both of you have lived in New York, performed on Broadway many, many times, but in the last few years with the 3 children, and we're going to talk about that you now have, you've gone to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Jonesboro, is that correct?
That is.
And tell us about that. Tell us about how that happened and why you're there and all that good stuff.
Well, it's not a natural progression going from Manhattan to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Let's just say that, right?
We're bi-central. We're not really bi-coastal. We're bi-central.
For those of you who don't know, I'm actually from north of Boston, Massachusetts, where it's awesome. And then I went to school in Chicago, then moved to New York City, had a great career, met my husband there, and now we live in Jonesboro, Arkansas. It's nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. So long story short, yes, we were bi-central for almost 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
I was on a plane every morning at 6 a.m. on Monday and back Friday night at midnight, whenever it landed.
Because Matt decided to go back to school and get his MBA at Columbia in New York and work for his father's company. And I was still working as an actress in New York City. And I wasn't willing to give that up. So yes, we were back and forth for a long time. But, after having the second child, it got a little bit more challenging.
Right. And George is your oldest, is that right?
George is our oldest.
George is 8.
He's 8.5 now, Patrick.
Unbelievable.
I know.
And I have a 25 and a 22-year-old. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Our Henry is 5.5.
5.5, okay. And the little one? Now we got you now. And the little one?
Yeah, 5.5, and Rose is 1.
We have a daughter. So we have 2 knucklehead boys, a baby girl.
It's a zoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day.
But Matt, I said to Jenny, I said, the fact that you went back, and said, okay, because you're a crazy singer and a crazy actor performer. You're crazy. You're top shelf, my friend. And for you to go, okay, but I want to have a family. I'm going to do that. And I'm saying, I just have such respect and admire that so much that you said, this is what I want more than anything, whereas most people, as you know, they'd give their right arm. They'd give their child to have a Broadway career, Good for you.
It was something that obviously I loved performing. I loved Broadway. I was very fortunate to have some success doing it. But there came a point where I didn't need it. And as an actor, if you don't really need, and not want, but need it, then, find something else. And I always thought that I'd transition to either the directing or the producing side. I've done a little bit of that, but, I just made a little bit larger transition. And yes, my father has a business, so it was easy for me to step into the family business. I did want to go back to school and have some classes in accounting and such, because I didn't really get that, with my musical theater degree. But I've loved it. I still have opportunities to perform. Jenny, so it took me. We sell cars. We sell a lot of cars, but my biggest sell was convincing Jenny to leave New York and come to Arkansas. And it was a long sell. It took a lot of years, but it finally came
True
down.
love.
That's
True
right, true
love.
Jenny saying, "Listen, Cavenaugh, if we're going to do this, I'm going to move to Arkansas. You got to build me a theater." I said, "We can do it. We can do that, huh?"
I did
And
say
now
that.
you have. And we're going to talk about that too. You guys started your own theater company. You guys are living, I think you're living the dream. Well, I want to show a little, by the way, I have one question before I show this little clip. How does it feel having your relationship or having had your relationship in the public eye?
I mean, we were already in the public eye.
We
so,
were,
yeah,
yes,
it
we
wasn't
were.
really. I never
Um,
thought of it much of a big deal. Did you?
Well, I
Did
think
you?
that,
Tell me.
well, we got engaged when you were Tony in West Side Story,
Mhm.
and I was originating a role in Susan Stroman and John Weidman's new musical Happiness off
Mhm.
Broadway at the Lincoln Center, and I think I felt like yes, the world was a part of our engagement
Sure.
and the lead up to our wedding.
But people were cheering for us. We weren't
Yes.
in such a public limelight where people
Yes.
didn't try to tear you down.
There
You
was
know, there
none of that. And I don't know. I mean, honestly, it was fun being pregnant with George, and we'd go to these opening night parties, and I'd wear these fitted dresses to show off my belly, and it was photographed. We didn't have any of that with Rose in Arkansas. We don't go to parties like that anymore.
Right.
Who goes to parties?
I know. She's
I
our
know.
baby, really.
She was born like a month before the world changed.
Yes.
It was crazy.
Well, your family, I told Jenny, Matt, I've kept up with you guys on Facebook. You guys should not be called the Cavenaughs. You should be called the Beautifuls. The Mr. and Mrs. Beautiful and their three beautifuls. It is you have such a beautiful, special family. But I want to show a clip of you two singing together in a song that is a relationship song, if there ever was one. This is Jenny Powers and Matt Cavenaugh doing Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. Watch.
Oh.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Yes, I can. No, you can. Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I am greater than you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I can shoot a cartridge with a single cartridge.
I can get a sparrow with the bow and arrow.
I can live on bread and cheese.
And only on that,
That's right.
so can a rat.
And you know you can sing, I can sing higher.
I can sing any note higher than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Cavenaugh, she wins every time in the show.
Every time.
I did the show on Broadway. She wins every night.
Well,
Every night she wins.
in life too, it's humbling. I promise.
Oh,
You mentioned
wow.
Jenny was crowned Miss Illinois, and she won the talent version or the talent portion of the contest for Miss America. But she does still wear the crown around the
That
house.
is
I
not
just want to let
true.
you know,
That is absolutely not
and
true.
makes us call her the queen. I just
He's
for the record,
lying. He's
I just-
lying.
want that
Everyone
out.
calls Rose, the 1-year-old daughter, the queen,
But that is true.
and mommy's now the
You've been
donkey
supplanted.
/slave. I mean, let's be
Okay.
honest.
See, this is what I was hoping for. I want that stuff. I want that
Who
stuff.
wants to wear the crown is our Henry. He's always like, Mom, where'd you put that crown? I found her a bed somewhere, Patrick. You're full of it.
So, part of the thing of tonight's show is that I really want to talk about from your perspectives. And obviously, I grew up that way. I had two parents that were performers, my whole life. And my children have grown up that way with Melissa and I, and how people like that make that work. I mean, it is an interesting thing. I think I told this to you guys when we did Superman. I took the kids on the road twice. I had them on the road for a year, 2 separate years doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with a nanny, and Melissa was in the show and stuff. Because as you said, you want to be with your children. You don't want to be flying back and forth all the time, and you try to incorporate them into your life. I didn't, unfortunately, have the business sense, nor the education, I might add, to do what Mr. Cavenaugh did. So that's why, again, applaud you, Matt. Really great.
It's interesting, for the first several years of George's life, both of us were still, well, me less so.
No. This is how it went, Patrick. Basically,
stop talking.
George was born, and a week later, Matt started grad school at
Oh,
Columbia.
Right.
And every other week that year, he was traveling to Arkansas to work for his father. So I had this newborn, and he was gone some of the time and in grad school. And once George, I think, was 5 months old, I started working again. And really from when he was 5 months old, that whole next year and a half, I worked pretty consistently. He came.
That was my point. George traveled with us to St. Louis, where Jenny was at the Muny, to Seattle when she was at the Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
There
To
was
the Kennedy Center.
lots of times where we just kind of.
And it was difficult. It was challenging in the beginning. I'm sure you remember it was challenging.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as he got older and he needed socialization. He wanted he needed his own little community of kids to play with. That got to be difficult. I remember that. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now that they're a little bit older, there's actually been a couple of times where not Rose yet, but George and Henry have actually performed with Mommy and Daddy, and that's been fun.
That's the best. No, that's what the first time that when I did Joseph in the first time, the kids were babies. Jack learned to crawl and walk on that tour.
Sure.
And Cole was 3. The second time, though, they were 7 and 10, and they joined the kids chorus on stage. So we had them in the show every night.
That's awesome. That's so special.
Yeah. And they, to this day, it's interesting. They both remember. I mean, Cole really has vivid memories. They remember it as the greatest time of their lives.
Oh yeah. Great memories.
First class tour across the country and to experience that. And again, going with the theme of being in the business and having your parents, I remember it too. My brothers and I, seeing my dad on Broadway, sitting on Superman's lap.
Yeah.
Bob Holliday's lap. I was I think I was 7 or 8, and I'm sitting on Bob Holliday playing Superman's lap backstage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or being on the set of the Partridge Family, or this is what your parents do.
Yeah, George has had more of that, being the oldest, either being backstage or traveling with. It was really Jenny doing shows, but then also coming to see Mommy. So for him to watch Mommy on stage, he's seen Dad, too, but less so. I know he's gotten a real thrill out of that, and I think. George has a real presence and confidence about him. And I think part of that, you just got given certain things, but I think also seeing, his parents are probably really Mommy, up there. I think also gives him, some of that. So it's interesting.
Speaking of you, I want to go, Matt, I want to talk, you did the revival of West Side, and you did it, you played Tony, and extraordinary. And Arthur Lawrence directed, and Arthur obviously had written. What was that like working with him at that age?
It was interesting. Did you work with Arthur, Patrick?
I never did. I met him one time. One time. I mean, I'd heard a million things about him, but I met him one time, basically shook his hand. I'm sure, yes, I'd heard many things about him.
At that point, Arthur was in his 90s. I forget exactly,
He was 90.
Yeah. But, listen, Arthur, obviously, one of the most celebrated and successful, writers and directors in Broadway history. And he expected a lot out of you, and gosh darn it, he was going to find a way to get it.
And the whole experience, wonderful for you? I mean, in terms of the show and the production and the people and playing that part?
I love playing the part. I mean, that's the show that inspired me to want to be an actor. Like I think probably a lot of, young boys, young tenors or whatever they see that show, and that's what lights the spark in them. I love the cast who I got to play opposite, especially Josefina, who played, Maria. I love singing that score. But the whole experience was, it's a lot. It's a heavy show. There's a lot to carry in that show. And sometimes it could be challenging with the creatives there, but honestly, I would say something like Grey Gardens was really more of probably my Broadway experience.
And you did that? Was that with Christine? Was that
Christine? Yeah, Christine Emerson, Mary Louise Wilson, and
it's so good.
John Martin, who I love. I know John, forever.
oh,
Good friends with your dad. And, you know, to be a part of that from inception to Broadway, you know, was, you know, really, that was probably my favorite experience, even though Tony was my biggest role. So.
well, we're going to show a little clip of you singing Tony.
Okay.
One of the greatest scores, obviously, ever written. This is Matt Cavenaugh as Tony in West Side Story.
I have a feeling a miracle would happen. I know now I was right. For here you are, and what was just a world is a star tonight.
Yo.
You more gray hairs on
Oh.
here.
You can't say anything when I'm on this screen with you. Nothing. Matt, yeah, that voice. Oy, gosh, wow. I mean, amazing. And wasn't that the first production where the Sharks actually spoke all in Spanish? Is that true?
So that was really, you know, Arthur, that was his idea. And actually Lin-Manuel Miranda did a lot of the translation for both the text and Sondheim's lyrics for the Sharks to speak in Spanish. Yeah.
How do you think the audience, how was that received by the audience?
It was double-edged. You know, some folks really embraced it, and some folks said, "Hey, man, I've been loving West Side Story since 1957. Why are you changing it?" You know, so there was some that was peeled away. You know,
Yeah.
not all of it. You know, you still wanted to have it. You know, I think it was a bold choice and really interesting to see. But there were some parts that were taken away. Really, probably, I think more so in the lyric and song.
Right.
Some of that back to English, really just, you know, for the audience.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't know what the translation is, but it's pretty tough competing with Stephen Sondheim.
It is.
You know,
See that too. As awesome and amazing as Lin-Manuel is, I think.
That's right. That's right. Jenny, you did the revival of Grease. You played Rizzo. But now I know, I said to Jenny earlier, Matt, you know, I knew Jenny had the most amazing voice in the world. But you know, one of the nice things about your friends is sort of watching their careers and stuff, and then even this show, doing detective work, Jenny has the most ridiculous voice instrument I've heard in a long time. I knew she could belt, and an actor to go with it, but then this soprano, which is just unbelievable. So I say to you about Revival of Grease, yes, you played Rizzo, but you could have also done Sandy. You could have done
I mean, Rizzo was so much more fun. Sorry, Laura.
Tell me about playing Rizzo.
Oh, it was a fantastic experience for me, especially because my Broadway debut was as Meg in Little Women, who could not be further from Rizzo, on the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, afraid to go to the ball and bare her shoulders. I mean, come on. And then you get Rizzo. And it was an interesting experience because we had these two reality TV stars, Max Crum and Laura Osnes. They were cast from the reality TV show Grease, You're the One That I Want. They were doing a search for Danny and Sandy, but the rest of us were cast from, you know, a traditional casting process. So yes, it was such a treat. I mean, my gosh, to sing that 11 o'clock number every night. And that song, it's not hard to sing. So it was a gift. It really was a gift. It was easy. We had a great cast. I loved working with Kathleen Marshall. Laura Osnes is a doll, and Max Crum is hilarious. But yeah, it was great. It was, you know, I mean, what can I say? It was wonderful.
It's one of those shows. There were two parts that in my younger days that I never got to play, and I was offered Danny Zuko twice. I got
to see you playing so many roles in that show.
I never got to play Curly, which I always wanted to play, and I never got to play Danny Zuko, and I was offered it in the revival before yours, the one that Tommy Toon directed.
Yes.
To replace, and I had another job and couldn't do it, so that was one of those ones that got away. I was really.
I could see you coming in as like the teen angel, even.
I'd love to do the Teen Angel.
Right?
Except I have a job. I get to put other people to work now. I don't have to
That's
go out.
right.
It's kind of nice. I get to hire you guys, or Matt can hire me to sell cars.
Yeah. Hey, we both got a spot for a great salesperson. You're in.
Remind me to tell you, Mr. Cavenaugh, I
Yes.
sold Toyotas for 10 weeks in preparation for something. And the first month, I didn't know anything about product inventory,
Yeah.
because it's 47 Priuses. I sold 13 and a half cars.
I'm sure you did.
Wow.
I'm
not surprised at all.
No doubt at all.
You just stayed in the parking lot, didn't you, Patrick Cassidy?
No, you'll laugh. Like I said, I knew nothing about product inventory, but what I would do is sing musical theater songs as the sales.
Yeah.
I remember on test drives going, "Do you know Man of La Mancha?" And it worked out quite well. So we were talking about the Muny earlier, the St. Louis Muny Opera. I mean, Jenny, talk about it. I got my equity card there in 1977. You know,
Oh, it's one of the most magical places to work. I mean, you're on that stage, under the moon with 11,000 seats. Is that what it is, Patrick? 11,000?
11 or 12, yeah, it's right there. I
Something
think
like that.
11 is 700 or 800, like that, yeah.
Yes, and even though it's such a huge space, and this is the truth, Mike Isaacson, who's now the artistic director there, would say this: don't push the audience, even though it's a huge space, they still will come to you. You
Yeah.
can still be this nuanced actor up there, executing these big musical theater numbers. I think it's heaven. It's one of I enjoy performing there more than I do it on Broadway. There's something about being in nature, right?
Oh yeah, it's Broadway summer camp.
It is.
And they treat you beautifully. Mike Isaacson did the show. Mike did it. He was amazing. We talked for a long time, and I got to do the dad in Aida when you were doing Mamma Mia.
Yes.
Right, you guys, and I had done the young guy. Well, at one point, but anyway, but then you and I got to perform at the 100-year anniversary. And as I said to the viewers before, we were talking about you doing Rizzo, as unbelievable as a singer Jenny Powers is, she's an incredible actress too. And you're going to see in this Muny clip of a bunch of shows that she's done there. Take a look at this from the St. Louis Muny Opera, Jenny Powers.
There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all, till there was you. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, that's my forte. Uncanny nannies are hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind. Keep no secrets if you want him to remain your lover. Share all secrets. There's a world of things you might discover. Truth is beauty. He should always know exactly who you are. Bear your secrets, and your marriage will be healthier by far. I can see what you want, what you see. Pretty young to be searching for that kind of fun. So maybe I'm not the one. You're so cute, I like your style, and I know what you mean when you give me a flash of that smile. But boy, you're only a child.
Oh, the Muny. There's nothing better. Powers, how many roles? What can't you do? What role would you like to do? What role would you like to do?
You know what? Matt and I were talking about that the other night. It's funny that you're asking me that because I had to speak to a group of high school kids who are putting on a production of Little Women in Chicago. And so Jim Weitzer, who also was an original cast member of Little Women on Broadway, he and I had to answer all their questions. And one of the questions was, what role is still on your bucket list? What would you like to do? Honestly, I would love, I think I can sing it. I would love to play Rose in Gypsy.
Wow.
Our daughter's name is Rose, and I think the week she was born, we started playing that soundtrack.
Everything's
Things coming up roses, and and then just listening to that song, I just felt, how sometimes, I'm sure this has happened to you, Patrick, when you're listening to a soundtrack and you just feel like, wow, I want to sing this. This is in my wheelhouse. You feel called to do it on some level. I would love to play her.
Unfortunately, you still look young enough to play Louise.
I know. Listen,
We're gonna have to figure out how to age you, Jenny, because I'm sorry, you're still an ingenue. You got to age up for that part for you.
I love you.
I know you could sing it. Okay, listen, so I heard you guys just sing a little bit. You have got to, for our audience, or more importantly for me, I want to hear you guys do a little a cappella something for me.
So we were trying to come up with something that would work. And the pickings, no, that's not true. The pickings were slim because we sing these really big songs in like the Broadway romance concert that we do. It's not really appropriate. It would just be awful. There's one little song that we sang at the Muny, at one of the Muny Magic shows.
Muny Magic. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, 5 minutes before we came on air, I thought, I don't know if I know all the words, but we could sing something. Look at him. He's like, let's go. Let's do something. I mean, it could be awful. I'll probably get a phone call from my mom. Why did you offer that up? You were flat, you were sharp. Edie, if you're watching, listen, we're just going to
Real Mama Rose calling.
It's true, the real Mama Rose.
Okay, I'm ready. We're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blue sky smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see.
All I see are bluebirds singing a song, singing nothing but bluebirds from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. My, oh my, how those days fly. Blue skies, la la la. Nothing but lovely days and blue skies. Lovely days and bluebirds. Lovely days and blue skies. From now on.
Yo! Bravo!
Think of.
I don't know if you can hear that, but you're getting applause in our audience.
5 people.
And there's 5 people.
Patrick, the first Broadway show I did, that was about how many people were in the audience on a regular night. It was 5.
Oh, really?
It might have been less too long, but, we'll take the 5 people that applause.
And there's a pandemic going on, so we're doing good. You guys sound great. Thank you so much for doing that. That was awesome. If your mother didn't like that, Jenny, you have her call me.
I will. Bless you.
So let's talk about for a minute how we met in It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman.
You should have gone to Broadway. I mean, my goodness. Let's be honest about that.
It should have. You're absolutely right.
Remember, it was the revisal. They kept calling it the revisal. And it got fantastic reviews.
Yep.
We had a tremendous cast.
Yep, it was great. It was for me, as you know, personally, because my father had done it originally on Broadway and was, look at that.
Look at that. Patrick Cassidy, look at that.
Yeah, that was
so special.
That was him, and that was me in that part. No, I've said it many times, guys. You know what killed it was the kryptonite to it was Man of Steel. Did you know that? Man of Steel was getting ready to open. And Warner Brothers put the kibosh on anything Superman coming out before that.
That's right.
You know, they have that kind of power there at the studio, you know. But that's what, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, remember Michael Riedel, who also did the show, came up and did for the Post on the, you know, Dallas. Look what the Dallas Theater Center did for less than $1 million that Spider-Man couldn't do for 50 or whatever. You know, it was 60. It was an amazing experience. And Matt, tell me, what was it like sharing a dressing room with me?
You know, I felt like, you know, I didn't have much room in there. I had to bust through the ego. And, you know,
I was the character. I was constantly preparing.
That's right.
You were a joy. You were a joy. I said to Jenny too, you know, as talented as a performer as you are, you always had that other side of your brain, which was a producer or a director or you know, leading a business. But it was a joy for me to room with you. So I've prepared you guys a special clip for you guys.
Okay.
This is from It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman.
Clark Kent, who scooped every other reporter in Metropolis when he landed the first exclusive interview with Superman.
I know, and I find it all a bore. Oh, Miss Sharp, I have had this course before.
So here we are, two herrings in the ocean, and the mild-mannered herring is playing coy with me.
Wrong approach. To me, I'm much more special than a walnut or a roach. But we matter, we do.
Superman, a root beer chilled to perfection.
Good to see you, Superman.
Mr. May, always a pleasure. We had our doubts that you'd make it.
Well, I'm not much for ceremonies or public displays of gratitude.
To
but-
Superman!
To Superman!
It's super nice to be with you. I only hope you feel it too. So glad you're here, all red and blue. A super nice person like you.
Mountains can be movable if the spirit's strong. Yes, you've got possibilities. Takes a woman to tell. I see possibilities. Let me pry from your shell. Relax, sweetheart. I'm not gonna fight you yet.
Magnificent view, isn't it?
Yes. Best skyline in the world. And I've seen them all.
You know, I designed and built this building to be the tallest in the city so that there would never be anyone above me. And for the longest time, there wasn't.
If you got something to say, man can say it. I'm not much for cat and mouse.
Congratulations, Superman. It appears you've won. Mind you, this is only a battle, not the war.
You're so brilliant, Max. We could have worked together. In another reality, we could have been friends.
Not any reality I'd like to visit. Shall we get this humiliation over with?
Any last words for the morning edition, Max?
Always, my dear. Though a jury may find me guilty today, history will judge me differently.
Fun, right? Nice. How many, as I was watching, I was thinking, how many shows have you guys actually done together as a couple? Just that one. That was it?
Of actual shows, yes.
Yeah, that one with you.
We've
And
put on a lot of concerts together, either been hired or put them on ourselves. But
Right.
actual production, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And we had just gotten married.
Yeah, so that was in 2010, and we got married in 09.
2009.
So let's get this clear. You had just gotten married, first show together. You did not play love interest in that show.
No.
And your husband, Jenny, is flying around on a wire. And he's got a big red S on his chest and a lot of spandex. And he's with another woman. How did that feel?
Well, you know, Patrick, you know what? I used to get phone calls. I would say, once or twice, 3 times a week. Jenny, please bring my Dramamine. I forgot it. I'm gonna vomit.
I'm glad there was no clip of the first day.
Of him flying.
We had flying practice because the first day they just strung you up on that thing and said, "All right, kid, just get up there and do a lot of flips and go." So
He was like,
"Oh my God, I was so sick." once you kind of got the routine, it was fine. But that first day, that first hour, oh my God.
Yes.
So playing Superman, but on the wire was your kryptonite. I understand. Let's talk about the Link Theater Company. Okay. How did that come to be? How did you start it? What made you start it? All that good stuff. And tell us where it was right before the pandemic.
Well, what made it started is because I promised my wife we'd start a theater company if we moved to Arkansas. No, but honestly, it is something we had wanted to do, and the time was right. The community we felt was encouraging us to do it, so we started a professional theater company, and we got our first show in before the world changed about a year ago, the first week of March in 2020. We did The Fantastics.
Yeah, almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah, a perfect little musical. I love the show, The Fantastics. We brought in Ed Watts to play the lead, who coincidentally played Superman opposite Jenny in the New York at City Center Encores.
Oh, for Encores, right?
Yeah, Encores, yeah.
So in the Encores version, I got to play Lois Lane.
Right.
And, yes. So I didn't get to sing, Possibilities.
Possibilities, yeah.
But I got to be his Lois Lane, which was really fun. So yes, we brought in Ed.
And Ed was great. And our whole idea with this theater company is to always try and bring in professional talent from New York, LA, Chicago, Nashville, wherever, and partner them with regional talent, Jonesboro, Memphis, Little Rock,
and university
and
talent.
with university talent, Arkansas State University, which is here in Jonesboro. On stage, backstage, and we accomplished that to, I think, very good success.
Yes.
The show sold out. The community really loved it, and then you can't do shows anymore. But eventually, we'll go back to that. And so,
Patrick, literally, it was 2 days later. I'll never forget this. A girlfriend of mine said, "It's here. It's in Arkansas, the virus," and everything started shutting down because the weekend after we closed the show, I was supposed to have this what they call a sip-and-see in the South for Rose, my daughter. Everyone wanted to celebrate her. And we canceled the whole thing because we were no longer supposed to gather in groups of 20 or 50 something.
We had a lot.
But we
of
got
fun
it in
doing
by the grace of God. That production.
And it was, went off very successfully. And we look forward to doing it again. Come October, we have plans for production, and then hopefully we'll be able to get back into the swing of things. And who knows? Maybe a co-production with Studio Tenn. Is it?
Oh yeah. On the road, I love that. You could do it there in Arkansas. Right here. That's a great
show. Studio 10, 2 hours, and then 2 hours to Jonesboro to see something at the Link, and that's what we want.
I can bring you to act, Jenny. I can bring him to direct. We can do.
Patrick, you can be our star.
Yes, that's what it's about. And in similar, for me, I had taken over on November 1st. I was here sort of overseeing. We had done Cinderella, which was cast, and it was great. And then we did the last show of that season was going to be, not the last show, but Steel Magnolias, which I got to oversee. And then I was getting ready to direct my first show here, which was this thing called Legacy. It was an Aretha Franklin tribute, but it's a big show. And I was 2 days away from rehearsal and a week away from announcing the 2021 season. And boom. And I went inside and I said, "What state am I in? Where am I?" I just gotten here, So yes, we all have the stories, but it is coming back, and we will cross-pollinate, and we will combine theater.
We are thrilled that you and Melissa are so close, and don't think you wouldn't want to use your wife too.
Oh, she's here. Melissa, did you hear that? She's here. She's willing. Okay, you guys ready? We play a couple games on this show. Are you ready?
Okay.
So this game, Matt, we'll go with you first.
All right.
We play a game called Remember the Lyric.
Oh, lose.
I know. Treat Williams said, "I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. You expect me to remember a lyric?"
Okay.
Okay, so this is what happens. It's just from a show you did. It's from it's a song that you sang. I'll start first, and then I'll point at you. You come back at me the lyric, and then you can come back. So we'll start with you, Matt. Ready? It's not that hard. Here we go. Could be Who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows.
It make him cannonball him down from the sky, gleaming his eye bright as a rose. Is that
There
right?
we go.
Okay.
Yay, ding, 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 ding. Good, good, good.
That show in summer stock at like age 19, and that train starts, it doesn't stop, and I went up the first night.
Oh, yeah.
Blank. So I'm glad you started it.
Well done. Well done. Okay, you ready, Powers?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Haircut, simply terrible. Necktie, the worst.
Bearing, just unbearable. What to tackle first? Yes, you've got possibilities, maybe even a lot. I see possibilities. Something, oh God.
You don't even
know you've got.
Ooh, well done, guys.
Yes.
See?
What's our prize? What's our prize? An all expense paid.
I get to come to you and act in your theater company.
There you are. Hey,
Oh gosh, that was great. So what was I going to say? Oh, I want to bring back our musical director. Did you like the little tribute we did to Love and Marriage with you guys from Frozen?
I love that.
Yes.
That cute?
And
That
yes,
cute?
I did not catch her name.
Mariah Paris. I saw her do Lady Macbeth for the Shakespeare Festival at Macbeth. There's Patrick Thomas. Say hello to Patrick Thomas, Jenny Powers, and Matt Cavenaugh.
Hello, sir.
Hi guys, I've so enjoyed listening to you guys talk today. This has been really enjoyable.
So Patrick is engaged. And I thought, being that we're talking about sort of love, marriage, the business, all of that good stuff, Patrick, you want to ask them any questions?
We got to get some good tips because it's, particularly being in the arts, I've spent my fair time away from my significant other. And obviously you guys are a little different in that you both are performers. I had a similar thing. Both my parents were Broadway performers in the 80s. And so they would talk about being in different shows, or my mom would be on a national tour and my dad would be in New York, and how hard that was. It's a little different just being one performer and the other person at home, but I was curious if you had any advice for me and my soon-to-be wife, particularly once the music world, the theater world all starts back again. Nice.
Who froze there?
I know it was. What do you think?
Well, we didn't freeze. The computer froze. Yes. We always had a.
It was very funny though.
We always had.
We thought you guys were like this.
We always had
a 3-week rule.
We had a 3-week rule, Patrick. Patrick Thomas. We could not.
There's lots of times where I was away or she was away. You know.
Yeah, we could not see each other for more than 3 weeks. And that really saved us a lot of times, I think, because a month just feels too long. But yes, and every 2 weeks can be, expensive.
Too much. Every 2 weeks. I mean, come on.
Patrick and I talked about this actually. Other Patrick and I talked. We were talking about the rule and what the time was. Before all this started, I was about to go on a national tour of the Simon and Garfunkel story and play Paul Simon. And we were already prepping, okay, you're going to be out in May. When are we going to plan our visits? And we were aiming for that 2 to 3 week period. And Patrick had said that he had a 2-week period for him and Melissa.
2 weeks, yeah.
Because Jenny, what you said is exactly true. I believe, absence makes the heart grow fonder for a certain amount of time, like that month. And then after that, what happens is you start sort of doing the life for you because you don't have your wife around, you don't have your children around. You just have, because that's what happens.
Yes.
And that creates space. And the space can sometimes not be so great for a couple,
Start operating as independent.
Right.
That's exactly right. That's
guys,
right.
I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to let Patrick take over again. I just had to come in and say hi and ask you a marriage question and say I so enjoyed listening to you guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Yes. Absolutely. And all the best.
He is a wonder, Mr. Patrick Thomas. Okay, so guys, we play one more game on this show. First of all, again, thank you. Thank you for doing this. I know how busy you guys are with 3 little ones. And Matt, you know, you were.
We've got the babysitter feeding them dinner and putting them in bed. Let's do this every night.
No, but I so appreciate it. I know what you guys have full lives, and it's just really important, you know, for viewers and people to know that people in this business, people that have done this business, can do it both. They can raise a family. You know what I mean? They can raise children. They can have a job. They can travel. They can be on Broadway, be on the stage, and they can still make it work. My parents did it. I think Melissa and I, you know, we just celebrated 27 years of marriage.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, and we got to do it in Tennessee, our new home. You know, so and our kids. I mean, the funny thing is, I think I might have mentioned to you, we followed Jack here. Jack got a record deal and a publishing deal. Wait till you hear him sing. And right, he's incredible. So that's why we ended up in Tennessee. But anyway, so our the last little game we've been playing on this show, it's called You Become the Host. And each one of you gets to ask me a question that I have to, at knife point, say the answer to. No, I'll lie. No, whatever it is. So you get a
Mr. Cassidy, what role is still on your bucket list?
Is there any like car salesman musical that I could play? I want to do something where I can sell cars, you know?
Death of a car salesman. The musical.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yeah. Yes, you know, I think I'd like to do Arthur in Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like to do La Mancha. I'd like to play Cervantes. That would be fun. Although it's a little low for me, it sits low. But those are roles as an actor. I'd love to play. You know, and I also like doing plays.
They're going on our season calendar.
Yes.
Let's put those on.
Yeah. And what about you, Matt? Any question?
Who give us a story with you and your brothers back in the day that no one knows?
That's a great question, Cavenaugh. That's like, okay. And it gives me a minute. So, all right, this is a question that I think the viewers and you guys would find interesting. So, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago, something like that, my cousin was getting married in Atlanta. And David, God rest his soul, and I and Sean and Ryan all flew there with our spouses to celebrate the thing. And then we decided to take just the brothers. We called it the Brotherly Love Tour. We took a road trip in an Escalade, just the 4 of us, no children, no spouses. We drove from Atlanta to Savannah to Amelia Island, through Orlando. We went to the greatest place on earth, Disney World, for a couple days. We then went to Miami. Oh, that was rough. And then although we swam with the dolphins, and then we ended up in Key West. And the 4 of us, yeah. And here's the part that makes it really fun. The first 2 days, I've never laughed so hard in my life. You're talking about 4 people that, you know, grew up, you know, David grew up different, but we know things about each other. We know things about our parents. We know things that only we could know. So the laughing was unbelievable. Day 3, it started to get a little tense, especially between Sean and I. By day 4 and 5 at the greatest place on earth, Disney World, Sean said something and I belted him. Hit him as hard as I could. That then started. Ryan and I, David stayed home and sort of gave therapy to Sean. Ryan and I went to Disney World without the 2 real famous Cassidys and got the VIP treatment. It was fantastic. We then went and swam with the dolphins in Miami, and that was sort of therapeutic, getting to kind of ride dolphins around, ending up in Key West, where Sean and I had it out again on the beach. But it was nice, and we had a wonderful time. But the point of the whole story is, and then Sean now wants to write a movie about it, 4 brothers on the road. It turned out to be the greatest therapy session. The time in the vehicle, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, about, well, Mom didn't treat me that way. Yes, she did. and all that. It was a wonderful experience. Not everybody knows that. A great question, Cavenaugh. I hope that story is. I adore you both. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for just being you guys, and I can't wait to come down to see you guys, and I can't wait for you guys to come here. And thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Matt, for being a part.
Thanks, Patrick.
Patrick, you're such a wonderful human being. They are lucky to have you out there.
Oh, thanks,
You
Jenny.
and your wife.
Thank you both. Be safe. We'll be in touch, okay?
We'll see you soon.
We will come together.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye, guys. Great people. Great people, those Cavenaughs, those Powers. Great people. What a great show. What a great, great show. Remember, us here in the theater, we make money. Studio Tenn survives, has been surviving because of two things. One is producing shows, which we can't do, so we need donations. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see you can support. Please support Studio Tenn by clicking the donate button. It is above, or by the messaging STT to 202-858-1233. That's 202-858-1233. That is how we survive. Please make donations. We got to get there, and you guys are helping us do so. I want to tell you all about next week's show. It will be the most special, I think, event that Studio Tenn Talks has done thus far. It is a once-in-a-lifetime event. The press has been coming out on it. I had the honor of originating the role of the balladeer in Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman's show in 1991, Assassins. It was a musical about the presidential assassins. It is an incredible show. And for the first time in 30 years, we are doing a reunion show with the entire cast, or most of the cast, but Victor Garber and Terrence Mann and Deborah Monk and Jonathan Hadari and Lee Wilkoff and Greg Gurman and Annie Golden and Lynn Green and the great Stephen Sondheim. There he is. He will be here, along with the great John Weidman, the book writer. There he is. They will be here, along with Jerry Zaks, who is the director, along with Paul Gemignani, the great conductor and musical director, along with Michael Starobin, the man who orchestrated that show. It is, as I said, a once-in-a-lifetime event. Do we have a picture of the assassins, guys? There they are. Victor Garber, Terrence Mann, Jonathan Hadari, Eddie Corbett, Annie Golden, Deborah Monk, Greg Gurman, and Lee Wilkoff. This show is going to be like no other show. People are going to sing. We are going to tell stories. We are going to talk about the relevance of the show now. We have clips. We have pictures never seen before. Please tune in. I think you're going to have a great time. Monday, March 8th, 7 p.m. Central Time. It is going to be one for the ages. That's our show for tonight. And I always leave with a goodbye song. And I thought, in honor of It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, Jenny and Matt and myself and my father, I'm going to sing the song, or a piece of the song, that Max Menken, the role that I got to play that my father originated, sings. It's called So Long, Big Guy. It goes like this. So long, big guy, it's tough to say goodbye. So long, big guy, here's mud in your x-ray eye. So long, ta-ta and adios, chin-chin, shalom and toodaloo, arrivederci daddy-o. Now. Good night, everybody.